Good morning, everybody. My name is Onepeg MG, and this is the news. In today's news, point 12 things that have been apparently leaked, as well as some information about the, pre-wipe event, if you even want to call it that, as well as new influx of players and what seems to be some trouble. So first up, we have this thing with point 12 called insider information on Reddit. And in this post, the user Robot DJMC about 12 hours ago ended up releasing this, saying that a source from Inside BSG released some information about a new trailer coming out tomorrow, being Wednesday, as long as everything goes according to their schedule, along with patch notes. And point 12 is supposed to be coming out Thursday. So somewhere around 2 days from now, we're supposed to be seeing that. I don't have a clue whether or not we actually will. But to add some credibility to whatever it was that they were posting, they released this on Imager. So kind of interesting stuff. There's a few takeaways from this that I want to make sure that I highlight. So the first is that in the first slot, slot 1 on the bar at the top of the screen, you can clearly see, even though it's blurry, the letters and numbers FN5-7, which leads us to believe that's the FN57 pistol. Secondarily, there is a whole lot of new graphical rendering stuff that we have not seen in Tarkov before, like grass and trees. You have blossoms on the ends of the blades of grass. Some really interesting new environmental effects. So if this is indeed point 12, that leads to some credibility, at least insofar as the schedule is concerned. But again, we're really not sure. Personally, I think that's a little bit rushed. I think that they're behind in terms of what they're saying that they're going to be doing. And to me, it looks like it's probably not going to be until next week. I fully believe that the 99% off quote-unquote event is probably going to be a week long, unfortunately, which leads me to the second story we have for this. For those of you that haven't really been keeping up with the events at hand, about a week ago or so, Tarkov started doing this pre-wipe quote-unquote event. First, all of these scavs, or the vast majority of them, became scav PMC bots instead of just regular scavs, with the exception of a select few random scavs that would spawn, and then player scavs, obviously, were on the map. Next, we had the vendors get completely wiped out. So they had no inventory. You could still sell things to them, but the only vendor, quote-unquote, that was available to sell you anything was Fence. Third, we lost the ability to be able to put items inside of our secure containers during a raid. Now, you could put them inside, take stuff out, whatever you wanted to do inside of your stash, but once you were in a raid, you could only take the items out. And this is where the problems kind of began. Around the same time that Tarkov started looking at doing this quote-unquote pre-wipe event and making things, I guess, progressively more difficult for the player base, it didn't really end up working out so well from a marketability standpoint, because at the same time as they started doing this, they also decided that they were going to announce a 5-year anniversary 25% off sale. As seen here on Twitter, tomorrow, October 15th, we celebrate 5 years of our, 5-year anniversary. This is awful translation, but whatever. In honor of our first anniversary, which I guess this is supposed to be 5th anniversary, we announced a 25% discount on all types of pre-orders. So this meant 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time, yesterday. So this is ongoing and will be ongoing, I guess, until tomorrow. But here's the problem. There's a problem with all of this. There's actually a few. Problem 1. You have this huge influx of new players thanks to people like Shroud, Summit, and Dr. Lupo, who collectively over the last 3 days have been averaging somewhere between 25 to 50,000 additional viewers just for Tarkov. After this big Fortnite event that happened, Tarkov itself got a huge focus because immediately afterward, when Lupo decided to switch up games, he was streaming Tarkov to 30,000 people, the vast majority of which had never even seen the game before. I can only assume that if there was even 1% of those folks, you'd have a massive influx of new players, which means that without traders, without the ability to hand in any tasks necessarily, and without the ability to be able to put items inside of a Gamma container, and because of the trader event inflating the prices on the market 4, 5, 6, 7, 10,000%, you gave new players the ability to run maybe 10 raids, and then they were completely out of stuff. So you have a 25% off sale for a game that somebody could run maybe 10 raids plus scav runs, and then they can't play the game anymore. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of marketable sense. The other aspect of this is that they included this like container event where you weren't able to put items inside of it. But the whole point of the container event was supposed to test whether or not hatchet runners would be deterred from trying to run to loot points where they would be putting stuff inside of their gammas or alphas or whatever it is that they're using. But when you don't have traders, you inflate the flea market prices, which means that the most desirable items are things like M995 ammo. We've all seen that meme. And other attachments like the M-Lock 4.1-inch guide that allows you to attach a foregrip to the handguard of your rifle. So anything related to 5.56 or any of the most desirable loot when it came to guns was the thing that people couldn't use or the thing that was the most expensive. So when you take away the ability for traders to do what traders are supposed to be doing, now you take away the desire automatically for people to want to run for loot. If people aren't running for loot anymore, they're not stuffing things into their gamma containers anymore. So there's no hatchlings. There's no one running for loot. What are you testing? You're not testing anything. So it seemed like this was done really backwards and is kind of par for the course, unfortunately, from what we've seen. If you're going to have a pre-wipe event that is centralized around trying to get fresh blood into the game, which it very likely seems that Battlestate is trying to do with things like this 25% off sale and constantly retweeting the fact that larger streamers are going live when they go live, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have this 99% off event be the thing that's leading the charge. Unfortunately, rather than doing that, they made the game harder. Instead, what the focus should be on is the easy play time that new players would have so that they have access to see what they could potentially achieve down the line and then turn it all off once they've gotten their beaks wet. But instead, the idea would be to make the game crazily hard and deter people from wanting to play. It doesn't make any sense. In my mind, historically, what Tarkov has shown us is that they're an incredibly good developer of video games when it comes to artistry, level design, and game mechanics when they work. Maybe not so much netcode right now, but hopefully that improves in time. That's the stuff that they know. What it seems like they do not have a good understanding for is marketing and public relations. They got like an F- in that department overwhelmingly, repeatedly over the course of the last number of years. They need somebody that knows sales because they keep shooting themselves in the foot in instances just like this, and it needs to be fixed. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on stream. Thanks.